Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Tom's locked up. Dust, you're next. Watch out.
He can't run away as well. That's the best part.
It's very true. He only has 1 foot, for those of you at home. It's been amputated here in Kiev. But talking about cutting things off, we are eventually going to start losing teams here, Hugo. Luckily, of course, today is not that day. These are now the upper bracket BO3s. It was Tom and Nato who took care of the lower side of things, and now we get into what I think will be one of the better matches of the day. Yeah,
I think my favorite match personally. This is a great one because again we have GODSENT definitely on the rise. Recently looked strong yesterday versus Gambit, and then apart from that result, we kind of go, okay, GODSENT, we really want to see how they match up against the likes of these pro league teams, these top tier opposition. And while North obviously a fairly new roster and definitely not as established as some of the other teams that we've seen recently, I think this is a really good test for GODSENT to see if they can take this victory. I'm leaning their way. The desks certainly aren't. The veto is a whole crazy situation. What are you thinking?
Yeah, that veto, I mean, we kind of, luckily we were sitting here going through it with them, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we had our own thoughts, and I would have said that they were quite mirrored by both Dust and Bleh. We were just kind of taken as aback as they were. Luckily, our reactions and predictions weren't aired out, so we can still pretend to be experts. They, on the other hand, cannot. But I do think that it's true they went for the safer bets. And sometimes that is a good idea, right? I'm expecting a third map. I want to see us go the distance. But first, we start on Cobble, folks. And it's GODSENT to start off on the T side. They've already started to work their way back down towards lower mid, where North do have a bit of a convoy here. There is 2 players pushed up. Initial contact could draw rotators, seeing as there's 3 CTs in connector, and they're going to have to run fast. Instant executions ×2, but Kierby does come flying outwards, and in his response, drops 2 of the GODSENT players straight back. Now, he's standing out into the open, he can't quite get anything done, and Disco drops him, but that buys time for the CTs to get inside the site. Unfortunately for them, they've already been mowed down, Hugo. It is only Valda left over.
I love the reaction there from North to just run straight through connector and actually challenge before GODSENT get to the site. This would be so hard to retake with a 2-man disadvantage, so they've actually made it somewhat close, but as you say, eventually they will be toppled and GODSENT take that pistol round. But yeah, nonetheless, I think that's the best way of approaching the situation. If you lose both players in mid like that, to just quick rotate and try and challenge GODSENT, catch them off guard before the bomb goes down.
Yeah.
A nice attempt on North, but again, when you lose those first 2 gunfights and 6 shots from GODSENT to do that, it's always hard to fight back.
I like that setup in a pistol too from North, because obviously, you've got those 2 players to the bottom of middle, which gives you a very fast response time if you're floating 3 core players inside connector. The players in connector, they're not going to be susceptible to a long B push, so if you get GODSENT just flying out onto the B site, you already have those 2 players bottom mid ready to go for the fast flank. So, it's a very adaptable pistol setup from North. Unfortunately for them, when you just get your heads ripped clean off, nothing is going to go your way. So GODSENT looking to convert off of the AAA case, and North, they don't even buy armor other than Kierby.
Yeah, again, something a lot of teams have been doing recently on maps like, Cobblestone, Inferno, maps where you're going to want a lot more utility, even AWP-based maps like Train where you want to pull them in early. Just don't go for that armor. Don't go for the full force, because it means when it comes down to even the 3rd round, you can invest in pistols again, or the 4th round, you'll have a far better buy in terms of having more utility, having those kits, because default, if you force up 2nd round fully, by the 4th round, you'll have an M4 with Kevlar, not even head armor, smoke and a flash. Like, that's not enough for a buy round where GODSENT going to be fully equipped. So, let's see. This should just be a fairly simple affair for GODSENT. They're running on in, and damage is being done. Pistols firing off, and actually more kills coming through for the side of North. But the rifles are still remaining in the hands of GODSENT, and they're tearing players apart. Mertz is stuck on the site. MSL comes in for the flank, and that will shut down Brolin, leaving just Disco Doppelin cornered and isolated in a 1-on-3 with barely any time left. It's just not going to happen. Mertz finds the dig, and North find the round off the back of an eco.
Jesus. That was just clean.
Yeah.
I mean, you immediately drop 2 bodies, and sure, with those rifles sitting up onto the platform, they start to trade frags back. But then at that point, North does a very good job of keeping what remains of their defense alive. I mean, that's kind of weird, because to me, GODSENT, they took their time with the round. It's not as though you go flying into the bomb site thinking you can just tear them to pieces. No, they played around with it a little. They waited for any kind of a peek, and then North just sat there, cold turkey, until all of a sudden, GODSENT offered up the round. I mean, GODSENT never feeling over towards the A site, not really getting into the drop down and feeling out connector. It's just they tried to quickly clamp down on platform and the B site. They got nothing for their efforts. What a complete turnaround. Remember, there was AKs invested into the round, and only one of them actually gets saved in the end. MSL moves that one forward, but we have immediately rifles back from North. So they're looking to cleanly convert this round themselves. And they do have 2 players towards A, where a 4-man Envoy will currently move forward. GODSENT, they're just going to give Hampus a bit of time to work in the drop down.
Yeah, try and keep these North players on the B site for the very least. Allow GODSENT to try and find openings on A against the only 2 players there, MSL being one of them. He's already started things off, takes down Freddy B in middle. Looking back for Twist as well. KRB wants to try and shut down this drop-down split, but it has been removed. Valdi finds Hampus just lurking around. So now, one by one, GODSENT just taking these duels and frankly not winning any of them. A flawless round from North, 3 frags from MSL taken, and that's a sick one as well to move forward. They are going to be pretty happy with that. Money being built up, and now GODSENT being unsuccessful with their force buy. They've just got a straight-up eco. We don't have any cash on these Ts. Full Glock round. Never fun.
No, definitely not. Definitely not, Hugo. Poor GODSENT. I mean, you could always just go for the fast fight onto the B bomb site, hoping for the plant. Luckily for North, GODSENT do spread out, so they're a numbers advantage. It's not going to be able to overwhelm any of these rifles, you'd assume. Unfortunately for North, however, they're going to be a little controlled in the sense that cobblestone gives you so little to work with. I mean, AZ posting up on platforms really the most adventurous they've gotten. They did have a little bit of a feeler over towards A, but they've already reeled it back in, so I'm all for it. I think that North, seeing as the fashion in which they've obviously performed so far this weekend, should just be trying to play a little reserved in these sorts of rounds. Don't make mistakes. Don't start unfolding at the seams.
Mistakes have been made, at least with North's journey to get here again. They fought 4s in that opening game. Managed to take it, but it was a 2-1 affair. It was a close couple of maps. Aside from the 16-2 they took in Mirage, you know, they lost 10 rounds in the second map, 14 in the third. So, yeah, North definitely on shaky ground coming into this matchup, and up against GODSENT, who managed to defeat the Overlords of Gambit just yesterday. This is definitely going to be a big match for them to win. If they can take the victory here and now, keep themselves in that upper bracket, things could be looking up for the Danes. And they will at least find their 3rd round pretty cleanly once again. That's not going to be an issue getting rid of Glocks. But now we have rifles in the hands of GODSENT, weaponry, money, utility, Connor, everything they could have hoped for apart from that AWP. And Mertz is going to pull it in early. So that's a player you definitely got to watch out for. He's going to go up on the A long already. As an early smoke goes down towards B to stop GODSENT from speeding things up for a fast B approach, but that wasn't the name of the game this round. And with that smoke going down, North just instantly take control of the plateau. 2 players here just challenging towards the broken wall, making sure that this part of the map is at least theirs for the time being. And even if GODSENT do take control back, North have the utility to continually retake this part of the map. So many nades, still loads of Molotovs, but talking of which, GODSENT, they found their way into drop down.
AZ still has eyes on long, and he's seen nothing here. Mertz has been positioned on long A since the beginning of the round, and that does finally net him the opening pick. Valde punishes the drop-down push and nearly clears out Hampus, but the dink is good enough. I mean, what remains here of GODSENT? Rolling on a full bar of HP, and a teammate already sitting on the brink of death with KRB in his face and his flank open wide. Remember, AZ has been posted on the platform this entire time, and he's still yet to see anybody. 45 seconds, and unfortunately for GODSENT, they're going to have to make their move on very wobbly legs.
Hampus, well, he will move into the drop down. That's going to be heard. KRB's going to see him coming in through the smoke, and now it's just the one man, the lone 15-year-old for the team in a 1-on-4. 30 seconds left. Really no hope. They're going to hear him. He has to run to the site. He's got to speed things up, and the crossfire establishes good enough. AZ maybe overfacing, but hell, it works. He finds the kill, and North find the round. Again, these have been very clean-cut rounds from North. They have not lost more than 1 player in any of the last 4, which is actually pretty fantastic stuff. Oh, sorry, the last 3. That one eco they did win. They lost 2 on the B site, but hardly an issue when you go for a full eco and win it. So now it's GODSENT in similar territory. Slight investment, bit of armor, a couple of pistols and some utility. So something here, at least to work for a B site take, but they've got lost bonus kicking in next round, so it shouldn't be a worry to buy up.
I really like the way that North made sure that they never offered up the extremities of the map last round. You know, they had, of course, Mertz positioned on long A with the sniper. They had AZ on the platform, and those 2 players alone always had this just continuous source of information. So unfortunately for GODSENT, they really just had the middle of the map to work with, and that was locked down immediately anytime they tried to apply that pressure. Very limiting in the setup there from North. I love it. But versus just the pistols, Valde gets it started. Will try to find a little bit of cover inside of the smoke, and as he re-peeks, he gets himself another. I mean, this attempt from GODSENT's just been entirely shut down. They've still yet to get a kill, but they do have this Disco Doppelin. back behind the doorway. He's all alone, but he's upgraded into the rifle. He's just looking to deal damage, and even then, he's cut down. So North convincingly win another round.
And these are very safe as well. North aren't over-facing. You said it yourself a couple of rounds ago. They need to be playing extremely passive on these anti-ecos. Don't give guns away to the side of GODSENT. You know, that's not what you want to do. If we look back to how GODSENT were playing just yesterday, it was Brolin, multiple rounds on ecos would just find a rifle and get an ace or get a 4K. So North playing very safe, playing very, you know, closed in and not giving many opportunities to GODSENT. So scoreline looking pretty fantastic so far on this CT side. And GODSENT back in with guns, back in with the AWP as well. The first time they've had it this map. Twist is going to be donning that, and they're straight off to B here. All 5 players trying to put pressure early on, but obviously North have a hell of a lot of utility. Not going to be difficult to hold off against this push for the time being. Nade's tagging down Doppler, and the AWP boosted up, but Valdi still wants to try and contend with the plateau. It's actually AZ there as well, peeking up wide, and he takes down Doppler as he runs through the edge of the smoke. Already a pick for North, and they're just going to give it up. They don't even need to contest anymore. Falling back a little bit off that angle, and giving GODSENT the drop down, but again, they're aware of it. They smoke it, they know that GODSENT have this part of the map, and it's no issue to North.
Yeah, I mean, North, they haven't even been moved over on A either. So they've got full information, they're just sitting patient, and North know that by shutting down the platform, the only option so far from GODSENT is going to be here on drop. 50 seconds left, and they're already starting to expend utility. They will use the Molotov to clear out the corner. Valda's sitting here waiting for, of course, the second player on site, AZ, to draw them in. He does strike with surprise, but Kirby in the meantime has fallen, and then Freddy B gets himself another. So AZ is just all alone, and he's calling for the rotations, not to mention that flank. GODSENT control plat, and that is it. And of course, time the biggest issue. So Twist needs to find an opening, and it's MSL to hit the flank yet again. Now Freddy B's trying to bail them out. Again, constantly trading, but that's it. Never finding further real estate, never moving forward to the bomb site, at least not as of yet, but that's a headshot and a half. Mertz creeping his way forward here, crouching around the corner, and Freddy drops him. GODSENT win another.
Oh, that's close though, and that's really well played from North to even hold down the site. The fact that they had that 3-man setup, you know, with MSL on the flank, AZ just playing his time, and Mertz holding the cross as well from outside the door. I'm surprised GODSENT got back into that. Fantastic display from the 2 remaining players left on that bomb site. Able to get it done, and now their second round on the board. But again, with losing so many men in the process, they don't have a lot of money to work with. North, quite a different story. Double AWP even being brought so early on into this game. And it's not even like the AWP of Twist has been an issue for them, so this is surprising to see so quickly. But AZ back towards Chicken Coop, and already GODSENT back towards the B site. They're speeding things up. Hampus has already worked his way to the plateau, but they might not expect this position, and that's a tag. Finished off by the spray of Valdi, who KRB as well chimes in with one. GODSENT just getting dismantled on this B-bomb site. Doppler eventually chiming in, and Twist is even going to pick up a kill from the plat with the AWP as well. So now GODSENT, man advantage. How will Valdi choose to approach as he backs off? He gives the site away. He needs to at least try and contend to try and pull this back into a 2-on-2. Twist won't give him the opportunity, and with that, it's just the solo A player having to rotate into a mess of a round.
Poor Mertz never even gives a chance into this one, so he immediately reels his way backwards. And Disco Doppler does a fantastic job there of controlling the platform, the drop down. I mean, there's 2 MP7 kills, hitting North on their rotate, but also helping his teammates on the entry. Like, he softened up the bomb site and then made sure he dealt with the immediate rotator over. So unfortunately for GODSENT, or excuse me, North, they never really had any footing on that bomb site. It's all Disco all day. And that's really the first time we've seen them kind of win over drop down so convincingly. I mean, GODSENT have been very, very committed to hitting up this B bomb site. I believe they've gone to A once, including pistol. So it's just been B over and over. And I think it's for that reason we do watch North position those snipers with one inside the chicken coop. They're anticipating more platform play, and they like to change it up, right? From the get-go, we saw North playing platform with AZ in the corner, just using that double rifle, trying to draw the players in. And now that you see this consistency from GODSENT, you want to change it up, because GODSENT obviously had a nice full buy. They had the grenades to go into that plat with. They did clear it out, and it was ultimately just the op standing in chicken coop that they wanted to shake things up with. But it is not successful. And it's now a very real opportunity for GODSENT to get back into this game.
Yeah, only one more buy here for North before they're going to have to throw in the eco. As I think they're taking a tactical pause just to work out how they want to approach this round. And that's a good time to do it as well. They know the implications of this one. If they do lose it, as you say, GODSENT are back in and with the opportunity of pulling it back to a pretty close scoreline. In fact, even equalizing it actually before we have to buy up from North. It should be 5-5. So just a second for North to work out their setup at least. And as you say, yeah, it's been nice to see the changing constantly, but will GODSENT change? Because if they continually hit this B bomb site, it's going to be a real issue. I imagine we'll see North start to gamble stack it a little bit more, throw 4 players on that side of the map, and have a better defense. So we'll see if they decide to do that now. That will be the case, in fact. So 4 players. Oh no, one in the door. So yeah, a far more passive A setup at the very least. It allows Mertz to rotate quickly instead of playing that A-long position. But look at GODSENT. They're just going to run right through mid. MSL is close. The flash is perfect, but Mertz, he should have the angle. He should be able to at least help out. They run past MSL, and the spray is good. He finds 2. Twist will trade back, but that's massive from MSL. He's opened up this round.
There goes Hampus as well. That's the biggest issue now. We do have this footing from Disco Doppelin at the B site, and the bomb's starting to retreat, but I like this from GODSENT. I mean, they take the pause. You know that North is going to be conversing about what's been going wrong, and the entirety of that conversation is going to be about the B bomb site. So what do? You change not only the tempo by charging at the A site, but you also then again change your target. The only issue from GODSENT this round is that they didn't clear MSL from his corner, and because of that, their push is weakened. Yet somehow, some way, they managed to find the plant regardless. Disco on the opposite side gets it for him. What's the play here? 2 players flanking all the way around, 2 guys coming in from connectors. So they're going to double up. Remember, Twist has got that op, and Disco will look to play the corner of his own.
Yeah, not a huge amount of time here for North. The wallbang is good, though. Doplin's now low. Will they still expect him in the corner? Mertz flashed out, but it's Twist to drop him as well from the plateau. Looks in for more, but the second shot missed, and AZ trades it back, leaving just the low player. AZ won't even spot him, and now Disco Doplin can strike. 1 kill coming through. Bomb already being defused, but will he find him through the smoke? It's a no. KAB has the back of Valde, and North have the round. It's a close retake. It comes down to the line, but they find it.
Dangerously close on the defuse there. No kit on Valdo, but he jumps on the bomb because his player back behind him was supposed to give cover, which he did. Solid stuff. Have a little bit of a laugh, realize how close that could have been. Solid retake. I mean, it's actually quite interesting that the moment you have this B bomb site in the hands of GODSENT, they do decide to put 2 players flanking all the way from A on the wraparound, right? I think that you could have argued just throwing everyone in through connector. I like their play instead, right? They did still have a kit in someone's hands, so it's not as though the defuse had to be that close. But it's confident. You make sure that you use the most of the map that you possibly could.
One thing I liked as well is they had 2 AWPs. And instead of letting them flank, it was actually the rifles that flanked round, and the AWPs are set up in both drop and door just to try and hold the cross, try and find a sight line, and those are perfect angles to do it. You don't want to be flanking around with an AWP up through plateau, so they utilize the AWPs quite well in the retake there. It's good stuff for North, and we do have a buyback for GODSENT at the very least, and already they're going for a fairly standard default. 2 have found their way into middle as North go for the solo A play after this constant B harassment that we've been talking about. MSL on the drop though, he's going to try and spot out to Hampus, who's just putting a little bit of pressure here. Flash in. MSL still trying to hold it though, and there's the peak. Now he knows at least 2 players are here with the utility flying on through, and he might call for support, and he might definitely need it because Freddy's already found the opener.
It's a shame for MSL that he does get the dink onto Hampus, but he can't convert it to the kill. Luckily for North, Mertz will. And then repositions his attention over towards long, where in fact GODSENT do have 1 player. Now, they are going to be working 3 Ts into the A site where Mertz will stand alone, and already on weakened legs. 18 HP as he resides to the back of the bomb site, still has no rotators whatsoever. So in this point, Mertz just needs to make sure he stays alive, try to obscure any kind of a setup from GODSENT on the bomb site, maybe even hope that they don't use Brolin's Molotov to clear that corner. And in fact, they will not. So Mertz could most certainly find himself a kill. He's waiting for a head to pop up, but he maybe jumps the trigger. Luckily, KRB does take somebody down, and it's just North across the kill feed.
Wow.
4 frags for them. And again, they find another round. I mean, GODSENT just getting picked apart on their entries.
I mean, we are only in half one of map 1 here, but I came into this game just expecting GODSENT to be the better team, but we are seeing so much versatility from North here. It's really, really nice, actually. This has been a team that I've hoped to see success from, but honestly, we haven't seen too much. So now, North definitely kicking off with a strong first half, a 7-3, forcing GODSENT to eco, should be 8. And again, this map's pretty T-sided, at least more so than that of the CT side. So GODSENT quite down and out so far. It's going to be a quick approach from Twist, but MSL is there. SMG's in. North know exactly what's coming through for GODSENT. They know they don't have the economy to go for the buy, so MSL going to try and get aggressive, just farm up some cash, build the bank, and a fairly easy task of doing so with such under-equipped Swedish players.
It's North going back to a default whereby they play both extremities. I really like that, actually. You know, sometimes it's you have to accept that drop down can be very much overwhelmed by just the sheer numbers game. So make sure that you have the back line on either of the bomb sites, right? Let's say the drop to B happens. Well, you still have platform in your pocket. Let's say we go drop to A. You've got two positions, both between long and lower. So it's a very good way of, you know, being in a prime spot to react to any unexpected losses. But there's no losses here. North are back into converting rounds cleanly. 5 guys up at the end of it. Just very, very good stuff on this CT side. North are putting on a bit of a show here versus GODSENT.
Buy is back in, though, and again, no AWP here for GODSENT. That's always a bit of an issue. Twist, the star of this team, without a doubt, alongside Brolin. So it's always nice to see him have his weapon of choice, but no money is stopping him for now. And still MSL holding on to this SMG at the very least. So North confident in their approach so far this map. We've got him obviously back towards the A site to support Mertz up on A long as North settle back into the default they were using so far earlier on into this game. But GODSENT also speeding up towards B, wanting to go for another fast approach. The utility will hold them back for the time being, but they have the setup at the very least. They're just outside of this B site. And North, again, very, very late with this rotation. Haven't shifted at all despite the presence shown by GODSENT and the utility going through. So, again, it's just down to if GODSENT find the entries quick enough, North won't be able to rotate in time, and that'll be the round over. That's the difficulty with playing AA long right now.
Yeah, but a AA long setup that hasn't punished them in the past, seeing as normally North will do enough to gun down the entry. To at least put them in those 2v2 type scenarios, but they have given up drop down. There's nobody there to stop them, and it's within this moment that North have moved Mertz a little closer towards connector. He's going to, I believe, keep his eyes inwards with his position on the window. Now, this is an invitation here. Kierby's just tucked away into the corner. He's not watching much at all. He's playing anti-flashbang, which I'm all for, because GODSENT, they're waiting for this execution. They're starting to piece it together, and as they do come forward, it is AZ and Kierby to take down those first two, and now Kierby really goes to town. He's still not cleared out from that cubby. I mean, he's been allowed to hold it until Disco drops him, but at that point, the round's over. That's a sick setup there.
And again, as you say, you know, okay, we have this two-man setup from North, but it doesn't seem to ever matter because North always win the duels on that B site. And one thing I'd like to note as well is every single time we see this B execute from GODSENT, instantly MSL just pushes mid and rotates. And multiple rounds, he's come in on the flank and actually picked up 1 or 2 kills from the plateau, just pushing up B long. So he's so fast on that rotate. I think we need to see GODSENT at least adapt to that. Obviously, they don't know he's doing it every round, but he has killed them multiple times. They should at least be trying to bait that rotation from MSL if they know he rotates so fast. But now it is MSL in mid at the very least to push through for GODSENT with pistols, and Mertz back on the top of the site, ready to deal with this one. 2 kills of the AWP, KOB, MSL, everyone's stepping up. It's no issue for North, and another clean round just to add to the total. 10 on this CT side.
There's just very, very smooth setups here from North. And I mean, you know, we go back to the B bomb site. We've had variation there. AZ's been playing the platform. We've had the sniper position back to the chicken coop. We have this round now where Kierby just all out of nowhere plays a completely fresh spot and it finds a 2K impact, right? So it's like every time GODSENT are trying to get into these bomb sites, they're having to deal with something new every single time. And I almost feel like GODSENT's T side has kind of come to a bit of a halt. They've been trying to freshen it up, right? They're heading back to the A site yet again, but they haven't done a very good job of, I think, pushing North off of long A, or at least not doing so convincingly. And when you miss your smoke grenades, it's certainly not going to help. They will flash their way around the corner. MSL emerges and just easily shuts it down. Again, North are just locking down the entirety of this map. GODSENT with so little to play off of.
Yeah, that is awkward. Bomb down in the hands of North just adds even further complications that GODSENT don't want to deal with right now. 3 players are on this site, and the 4th already coming to join them now. That's AZ, just making sure there's no one coming in through drop to split that bomb site. And that is the case. GODSENT sending both players up long. They might catch out MSL, but don't worry, he's on fire. 4 kills from the leader of North. He has been having a fantastic game. And in fact, he's been looking good as well these last few weeks. That's one thing I want to take into account. MSL has certainly stepped up as of late, and that's always nice to see.
The thing with North, right, is I mean, I think Dust did a very good job of kind of breaking down the roles within North and saying that on paper, they have everything they theoretically need. It comes down to performance. Well, everybody on North right now is near the same, statistically speaking. So it's just the pieces coming together to give us what is a masterpiece of a CT side.
We're into the last round of the half here for GODSENT with no real utility to work with, only Brolin with a couple of bits and pieces. And a broken bye here for GODSENT, a broken half in fact. Even if they find this one, it's a small consolation to take 4 on their T side of Cobble. Obviously a map that North are known to play, and GODSENT not quite the same story, but even so, this is a huge victory so far from North. They are taking 2 kills into this round just instantly, and again, no trades from GODSENT, no one even trying to attempt that refrag. The boost up from Freddy B might catch Caribbean, it does, so that's 1 kill going the Swedes' way, but they already get caught through the connector. MSL denies them any presence there. Keeps things in check for North, 2 kills already this round, and 2 players left up for GODSENT. Surely no hope left.
Ooh, however, Daisy gets caught with a grenade in hand, and Brolin wins a duel. So we're back to the 2 versus 2. GODSENT have created an opportunity for themselves, but Hampus, he's going to hear this movement from Mertz just beneath the window, swapping guns, so he knows exactly where he's at, and he strikes within that moment. MSL will reel his way back towards the door, dodging grenades in the first place, but now he needs to win his duels, and with 20 HP, it's not going to happen. Hampus gets another one. Very well done from him towards the later portion of that round. I'd say he struck into connector at the perfect moment. Mertz making a bit too much of a ruckus as he swapped out those guns. So a 4th round is something to work with. They got the first, they got 2 in the middle, and they got the very last one.
Yeah, definitely not the half GODSENT would have wanted. Fantastic performance from North nonetheless. But yeah, last of the half gives them a bit of a buffer if they do lose the pistol here. Gives them a second chance, right?
It's kind of like you win the pistol and you have high hopes, and then your entire T side is just a flop. But hey, we got the last round too. You know, it's like you have high hopes going in and you have high hopes coming out. But the reality could be that North have won this map already.
Well, let's see. Let's find out. Because again, with a strong CT side, I can only assume their terrorist half is going to be just as consistent as we jump right into the pistol round here. Good utility for North as well. A game plan set up, as GODSENT. Just 1 kit buyer and a couple of flashbangs as well to assist. That is on Freddy, and he's already on B, the exact site that North is hitting an aggression towards the plateau. What is this from GODSENT? They dropped the bomb, it went in first, and that's a lot of information taken. Brolin finding 2, plateau shut down, and now the split coming out through the highway is going to be dropped by Freddy and Hampus. Everyone finding kills on GODSENT's side. And hey, they're back in this game.
Yeah, they've got something to work with, right? They've got the open door at the start of the CT side. And it all comes down to whether or not North can create another upset. Remember, this is both pistol rounds won by GODSENT.
That's always worrying.
It is, Hugo.
Let's see if they can find the conversion, because again, North ecoed that second round and managed to pick it up, but now here they've gone for the 4, so it's even more worrying. Although it's a different half, a different chance for GODSENT. Couple of rifles in play, but again, majority SMGs as they look to farm some cash. North setting up outside of the B site early on, and GODSENT, no information as to where North are heading. They're very passive on both sides of the map, even on A, just sitting in mid, waiting for the push. Brolin falling out of the drop down as MSL hunts him through the connector here with a CZ. He's got to be very careful because now North are splitting up towards A.
Oh, Disco, though, he gets himself into the corner, able to spray down with the MP7, getting himself the first and swapping to the sidearm for a second. Twist, well, he will fall. The only casualty of the round, so it seemed, till Kierby comes to life. Now, he does have 69 health, Kevlar, and a Deagle with a minute to play off of. However, counter-terrorists have already worked their way back into the bomb site. They're all here as well. So now that he's spotted, they're not going to move. They're going to stick around. He wants that M4. It's sitting on the dirt. He wants the damage, but he gets neither for his efforts. All he does is die.
Well, at least they find the conversion for GODSENT. That's something, as now they can head into another anti-eco, allow them to build up a little more money, a little more confidence here on the CT side as they try and pull the big comeback. But again, North are going to have guns in just 1 round's time, and that's always a scary prospect for GODSENT, who are so far down in this map. They need every penny they can take, and losing a couple of players is going to just take a little bit away from them. So this needs to be flawless now from GODSENT. We can't afford to have any casualties if they want a real chance in this map. North setup outside of B again with pistols, but this time not supported by the plethora of utility or armor.
Yeah, they just sit back. They're going to dodge all those grenades right away, which so far they have done. Only Mertz tagged up so incredibly slightly. And then Freddy B gets positioned into the corner here. Now, Hampus should stick around in order to help, but the actual flashbang is great. And then Kierby gives cover. Luckily, Hampus in on a highway will be able to gun down one, dealing so much damage at this point, but still these CTs fall. Luckily then, it's just gone. Hampus lines up 3, twists grenade, clears the 4th, and there you go.
Not
North
too bad.
Are done, Hugo. But they will bounce back now because they have a chance at a bye.
Yeah, I love this from Hampus as well. You know you're watching a good player when you don't always focus on the immediate threat. You see MSL jump across, and then he instantly switches his aim back towards a plateau instead of trying to hunt down MSL. He's got faith in his teammates they can find that frag, and instead just focuses on the real threat, which is the 3 setup on the plateau. Great
rifle control as well, right? He was doing like 3-4 bullet bursts there. He was doing it through small, narrow angles where he knew bodies would be crossing. He was just looking to pump up the damage so that his teammates behind him could come in with the round.
And again, you know, when you know they don't have armor, just 3-4 bullets offsets the aim enough that you're not going to be useless with those pistols. They're not going to get any kills because aim punch is such a big issue on those kinds of rounds. So GODSENT in for a shot here, but as we head into the first buy round, North have everything except the AWP, but it is early days regardless. Freddy B, very, very aggressive. He tries to run back through the smoke, and he will have success in that, but KRB lurking up on A for the time being. He could be the nuisance. Do have one player down here on long. Disco Doppelin forced off by the Molotov into the open, but KRB won't pounce on it. Instead, Doppelin just falling back. And I like that. It's a little bit of map control. It's a little bit of, you know, scare for GODSENT as they have to reposition on the A site, change their setup completely, and in the meantime, North will take drop.
Yeah, because the problem with that long A setup as well was that GODSENT had no vision to the bottom of middle. They actually didn't have anybody looking down the staircase, so they don't know if there is somebody already trying to work their way up ramp. However, now they'll realize that it's in fact the B site strike. Freddy lines up 2, but only gets himself 1. And KRB's able to trade straight away. Hampus off of the rock, despite being tagged up, does still take another kill, and so it's only a 1-man advantage and slightly. Valda on 14 points of health. Very, very shaky situation. But these counter-terrorists need to weigh up their options. They've got the frag and the flash to try and retake. No kit, so they decide not to gamble. KRB hears it all, and North are on the board.
Yeah, again, great distraction work up on A from KRB to at least force GODSENT to question whether that really was a B play. And yeah, good duels from North. 1 to open up the site and open up the round. The opportunity has now been presented for North to close out this game pretty quickly, assuming the reset doesn't come through, because obviously the save from GODSENT does allow for the next round buy. They're going to have rifles. Maybe not full rifles, but enough to play with at the very least. So it's not all smooth sailing here for North. They've got another buy to worry about, and again, the AWP dragged over another round, so not a free upgrade here to the Ts. And I think this would be a great time for a tactical pause for GODSENT, a time to work out how they want to come into this next round, how they want to set up. We haven't really seen too much from them in terms of pauses or anything so far this map, just North calling in 1. And now we're back in. And yeah, full rifles, in fact, so GODSENT pretty good buy ahead of them. Only slight missing utility on both Hampus and Doppelin, but they have the kits to make up for it. This shouldn't be an excuse for losing a round at the very least.
This time Twist is watching lower, right? That was the hole in the defense last time, but he has only a smidgen of an angle to work with. This is his opportunity at finding the opening pick. It is the only op in play with this round, North, having the 5 AKs instead, and they'll continue to just use KRB to feel around, but AZ easily slays the 2 players onto the platform. Mertz now coming in on the entry as well. It's Hampus to the back of the site. He needs to find nothing, and they get absolutely nothing. Only Twist with some kind of a response from GODSENT, but Hugo, just, they make that look easy.
Yeah, or make it look easy more like. What a sick round from North. That is the best response you can possibly have, right? To just get the straight-up reset to GODSENT the second they get on the board with the buy rounds in their hands, and North forcing them now to just down to pistols. This is Oh, that's heartbreaking for GODSENT, but fantastic work from AZ to get into the bomb site. And yeah, I like to see North react quickly off the back of it again. You know, even with Cobble being prolific for its 4-man B stacks, you know, you find 2 entries like that, if you just completely burst the site straight after it, you know, there's no time for GODSENT to rotate. There's nothing they can do.
No.
The round's over at that point, unless you have a hero play and no one can step up.
And those are the kind of situations GODSENT never got themselves, right? When they tried to play into that B bomb site, they just never got an opening like that. They were never able to cleanly take down the defense. It either cost them players or all their utility or timing.
Well, that's the difference, right? If we look to how North controlled that plateau, they never took a fight down long. Like, I can't think of maybe one or two AWP fights
in
down
the opening,
long.
like 3 rounds maybe, right? With AZ kind of positioned there. Or anti-ecos, they'd always take those long-range fights.
Yeah.
But outside of that, you're right.
They just constantly re-smoke it. Maybe they get a pick once with an AWP, and then they fall back, and we saw that round, you know, they get the 5-on-4, they fall back to a passive setup. We have AZ on the site, Valde in the corner, Mertz holding the door. You know, North just had so much versatility with how they controlled the plateau. GODSENT, they go into a buy, they aggress on plateau, they lose 2 players, and there we go.
And I think that you can couple that solid little like B site setup with also the fact that GODSENT weren't really properly pressuring A site either. Think about the fact that North could just sit back in B, wait for the execution to come their way, not having to really over-aggress. But at the meantime, they never lost that A site control. They never felt the pressure. So you could confidently sit within your own skin and hope for those opportunities, which they always seemed to take. So GODSENT getting bullied at this point, but North will trickle out from the bottom of middle. And it's 4 frags for Disco Doppelin. That was sick. AZ's up next. Last man alive. It's over.
Well, that's what they needed. What on earth is that?
Does he realize he's gotten 4 kills?
Well, he realizes it's still 14-8, and they've got to drag this game back if they want to win this. So they're not out of the woods just yet, Connor. But fantastic 4K. And that's ironic as well, because MSL, the one man to actually sit in the corner and shut down GODSENT's mid-push on their CT side, he's the first man in who doesn't check the right corner. He at least checks the left side, but yeah, not good enough. Fantastic work from the man himself, Doppelin. And yeah, that's exactly how you want to get yourself back on the board and you know, counter reset to North. They obviously picked up 2 rounds in the midst of all that. Oh, sorry, 3 rounds, but even so, not too much of a worry. They can buy up. And a pretty good buy ahead of them as well, as GODSENT, you know, they've been given a lifeline, a second chance into this game.
Oh, AZ's given just a free drop-down play. Brolin gets sideswiped, and AZ's done it again. 2 fast headshots, not to mention this time Bomb actually executes onto A. Now Disco Doppelin's doubling back from long, and he's certainly going to see this with the grenade sailing over, so can he stop it again? Only 1. And in the meantime, his teammates have succeeded in dropping the B site pressure. It is only A, but it's all North's. With the smokes, they've ensured the plant, and they'll have the man advantage after the fact.
Yeah, again, AZ bottom of the board here for this team. The amount of impact he's had on the second half has been fantastic. It shows stats don't tell the full story. The amount of rounds AZ has been opening up for North in this second half has been unstoppable. And again, another kill coming in for North leaves just Twist in a clutch situation. A 1v3, and Mertz, he's going to have no problem taking that duel. North, 15 rounds here and there, map pick of Cobblestone. And again, GODSENT, they find a round, straight up reset, money gone, hopes and dreams out the window, Connor. This may just be the end of the first map.
Yeah, this is, unfortunately for GODSENT, their hands have been tied. I'd say the entirety of Cobblestone. Like, this is just North toying with them, playing with their food. You know, give them a couple pistol rounds. Let them convert the second one. Yeah. You know?
Give them a chance.
Try to instill the hope for GODSENT, but they'll have...
It just makes it all the more sweeter when they crush it again, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Poor guys. 7 opportunities, and they're going to all have to come in a row.
Well, outside of B for North early on. A slower approach to this round at the very least. But again, if AZ finds 2 more opening kills to this round, I think we are going to see a pretty quick affair. And GODSENT just digging deep to the pockets, trying to build any kind of buy that they can. They've got, you know, not only an AWP, but also a Deagle, a complete mixed bag. As North already looked towards his B site, pressure in the drop down going to be taken, forcing Brolin out of that position already. And in fact, look at Valde. He's worked his way all the way up into drop. GODSENT aware of the fact they've given up this position, but this can always be dangerous. Especially with the fact that KB's still working his way up towards A, just to form that, again, distraction that has caught GODSENT out so many times. Valde opens up from the drop room, MSL following in tow, and now North with 2 entry frags, looking to just split this A bomb site. There's only 1 man left up here. He has no idea what's about to come through. Finds 1 kill, but so much pressure on the shoulders of Doppelin.
Voldo's spotted, and Freddy does react in time and loses half his health in the process, but he and his teammate are alone at the B site. There is no terrorists from North in this direction. Disco Doplin's eventually going to call for rotations, but it might be too little, too late. If he can continue with individual skill, then maybe he shuts them down, but he's distracted right now, and so Kierby clears him instantly, clotheslines him from the stables. Now off of the grenades, North will push forward. They've got the numbers advantage, the health advantage, the utility advantage, and the after plant playing into their favor. It looks like map 1's done, unless Twist cracks this one open.
Yeah, no armor as well to play with. Everything playing against him. Mertz wins the battle of the AWPs, and it's just Freddy in a 1-on-3. The same after plant setup we saw from North in the previous, and they do it again. AZ cleans up that round, and what a fantastic map for North. They take it 16-8 on Cobblestone. Their pick, and you can see why that was at least their choice, kind of. They have looked so strong today.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that obviously they had to play Cobble, it's much more convincing. They lost it yesterday to Force.
Yeah.
But today we get all the individual play. It seemed to just work. Everyone was on the same page. The T side was just filled with trade fragging. Other than that one little flubbed opportunity when Disco Doplin goes unchecked and gets that 4K, that T side was just a clinical execution. Yeah. The pistol's an anomaly. Great stuff. And if we were moving into either Train or even Overpass, right, as this next map, the choice of Godsent, then I would say that, you know, maybe we watch this bounce back from them. However, it's Mirage, which I think is more even territory than you could have argued the third map is.
See, that's the difficulty, right? Because as I said on the desk, you know, okay, at the end of the day, this map pool still works for Godsent. They can play all the maps here. That's not a worry, but it's more so now we go, now we don't go to a map where you go like, you look at Cobble and you go, okay, North should win that. Now we go to a map that we don't think, okay, this is a clean-cut victory for Godsent, like even. I would say Overpass or Train would be. Mirage is so even, and this gives so much more opportunity for North to just take a 2-0 victory here, which would be, I don't want to say shocking, because again, they are a very good team, but, you know, coming into this game, it's very hard to know what to expect from North. They're, you know, rivaled by inconsistency at the best of times. So it's looking so good now for North to take it 2-0.
Based on Copenhagen games last weekend and their underperformance there, based on their shaky start yesterday and the opportunities they gave Fours, then yeah, I would say this is a bit of a shocking start. But it's what we want to see from North, right? They've been revered as a top dog, and whether or not they can close out this series in a 2-0 or 2-1 fashion is yet to be seen. But before we come back with the second map, we're going to throw it to a break and then our analyst desks.
5 reasons to bet on bets.net. 1. We are not a bookmaker agency. We are a betting exchange. We are fine with any outcome of the event, so we have no reason not to pay your win. The information about the bets is available for everyone in real time. We stand for fair esports. 2. Instant replenishment and withdrawal of funds. No delays, checks, and restrictions. 3. Convenient mobile app on iOS and Android. All site functionality is in your pocket. Bonuses for each user of the app. 4. More than 800,000 people trust us. We are the most visited esports bet site in the CIS. 5. All coefficients are fully transparent and the commission rate is the lowest. We play fair and square. Bets.net. Visit us and win with us.